Hello, ladies and gents. Ooh, aliens, Area 51, F-47, named after President 47. Does Trump knows about aliens? Does aliens have anything to do with 6th gen plane? Did they take aliens and literally grind them up and put it inside the body of F-47? That's what gives it the best stealth. Who knows? Nobody knows, but everybody's saying it. Yeah, this is channel Max Afterburner, fighter pilot. Max Afterburner. Apparently, he's F-15E fighter pilot. Yeah, can your job be more badass than be fighter pilot for F-15? Fighter pilot reacts to shocking mystery jet at Area 51. Yeah, okay, it's not confirmed that it's F-47. That's why the title says that it's F-47. Come on, what else could it be? Maybe other million things, I don't know. All right, let's watch one. It's going to be interesting.
Good morning, it's June 7th, 2026, and today we got to talk about something that just happened over the Nevada desert. So picture this, pitch black over the Nevada desert, a thermal camera from a YouTube channel called Project Fear locks onto something moving low and relatively slow actually over the restricted airspace north of Groom Lake. This is it right here. No red and green position lights, likely no transponder, a shape that doesn't match anything in the public inventory. In this video, I'll use my fighter pilot experience to tell
Is this infrared? What did he say? Wait a minute.
called Project Fear locks onto something moving low and relatively slow actually over the restricted airspace. It's likely no trail. I'll use my
Is this infrared? Is this infrared night vision? Because won't you be able to see somewhat of an exhaust? Again, this could be F-47 because it's known to hide the exhaust like B-2 does, right? That's one of the properties of F-47.
fighter pilot experience to tell you if I think this footage is real or not, and if it is real, what it could be. But within hours, this went viral across the entire internet. Everybody's tagging Area 51, and the captions kind of all say the same thing. This is the F-47, the advanced 6th generation stealth jet that's not supposed to fly until 2028, supposedly got caught on camera by YouTubers. Here's the problem. The Air Force says the only pictures of the F-47 that exist in public are fake on purpose, and the real jet is being hand-built in hangars and secret locations that the U.S. Air Force is
Really? So US said that, US military said that these are fake for a purpose. So it might not look like that. Interesting.
developing right now. So either YouTubers just filmed the most classified aircraft on Earth from a campsite, or we could be looking at a very good fake built to make us feel exactly the way we feel a little bit right now. Excited. Anybody else? So basically,
Come on, man, that's a reach. US military would not make a fake plane and fly it just to confuse people. It's one thing to hide from your own taxpayers because of national security reason. It's completely another to like stage things. That's not the case. I feel like that must be F-47 because, like, fake in what way? Usually when the renders come out, that is how usually the plane looks. America has worked like that. So to me, it feels like that should be F-47. But then again, it could be something else, right? There's many drones and things are being worked at right now. It could be something like that.
the U.S. is spending hundreds of millions, billions of dollars to make this jet invisible, and a few guys with a $200 thermal camera found it from the bed of their truck. So much for top secret programs at this point.
What are you talking about? They're making like invisible to radar. Of course, you can see it with your eyes and infrared. What are you talking about?
It's like America's billion-dollar stealth jet got caught by somebody's Ring camera. Stealth works great unless your neighbor has good Wi-Fi. Now let's pop to some of the
Yeah, but it's Area 51. That's where the testing happens. If you're just going to camp outside Area 51, you're going to see things. It's not like the enemy saw the plane, which they're not supposed to see. If you're literally outside of the base where things happen, yeah, you're going to find things.
photos. I'll break down the photos real quick, and then I'll do a full breakdown of the actual footage itself from Project Fear, and I'll link to their video in the description.
Okay, what's up, guys? Just wanted to give you a quick overview of a couple of the photos, and then we'll do a little debrief on could this be real? Could it not be real? What would be some of the reasons for the Department of War releasing that? And then I'll get into a full breakdown of the video.
Somebody said this is one of the old planes that they told, I don't know, for a comment down. Like there was some old plane, this looks like that. It could be that, not 47. And to me, I'm like, yeah, probably because it's very back heavy, isn't it? It's very small in front with two small wings. I'm guessing that's how F-47 gonna be. That's what the render looks like. But still, it's very back heavy, isn't it? Like, would it look like that? I don't know.
About halfway through this video, but here's some of the photos that we're seeing right off the bat. So I wanted to give you guys a quick breakdown of this. So from the angle, if we're sitting on the ground here, like these guys from Project Fear at Area 51, you're looking up, just kind of a little breakdown of what I'm seeing here. It looks like the wings probably have some sort of a down angle. So this on the sides here to me looks more of a down angle. So it almost looks, there's kind of like a distortion, like it could be going up. But just from the angle, I think that the wings would kind of have like a droop, like a slight droop down, which is
Yeah,
different
that could be the resolution issue, information loss. That might not be the case.
from airliners that have those things on the wings, basically the winglets that go up and make it more efficient. I don't know. This could make it more stealthy. Could be some other reasons for it kind of sloping down. And then as I scan more towards the center of the aircraft there, you can see what looks like a weapons bay almost, but that might just be some of the ridges as the engine it flows back. Some of the intakes flow back. That might just be some of the thermal imagery kind of showing and highlighting some of the different temperatures that the aircraft could be.
The problem with this is they caught it at an angle, not directly overhead. So why does it look like you're seeing the bottom? So that is not the bottom. It's like skewed a bit, not completely bottom, but skewed a bit. Would it look like that? I don't know, man. To me, now I'm seeing, is this really F-47? Because I know physics a bit, right? There's a reason F-22 looks like the way it does. If F-47 looks like that, it has this kind of like a wing shape. Would it be able to maneuver fast? Or is F-47 made in a way that doesn't matter if it can turn fast or not? Its job is different. Maybe F-22 is still going to be the king when it comes to like sharp turns and things.
Towards the back section. But if this is a true thermal image, this is really cool because a jet doesn't have a lot of distortion and distinction in the engine area like legacy aircraft have. I mean, if you see a legacy fourth or fifth generation fighter, even, you can see the plume on the back is just massive. The heat signature is insane.
That's what I mean. That's what I said. This is infrared. There is no heat signature. That makes me think this is like advanced thing. Look at that. So America is doing it. It's not just words. Look at that. You don't see heat.
Then you flow forward here and you see what looks like canards. So canards, to me, that kind of kills stealth. They're not a very stealthy asset to have on the jet.
Canards? Wait a minute. Oh, those are the called canards. Sandbox made a video about it. I thought he was talking about like the thing that opens and closes. No, canards are the small wings. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Like, why does it have small wings? Isn't that like if you're making like proper triangle type thing, yeah, but canards, like, doesn't that cause issue with stealth?
Kind of like an elevator. An elevator is usually on the back of the aircraft on fourth and fifth generation jets. It's that big flat thing that moves up and down that makes you move in pitch. But they do similar things just in the front of the aircraft, but they are not very stealthy.
Those J-16 from China has canards like this. So to me, it feels like this design, is this really, I don't see F-47 going that way, man. Canards feel like you're compromising. Like you could use better aerodynamics and like material science to make it more smoother and more triangle-ish or something. So it has much better like stealth than putting on canards. Or maybe they figured out something, who knows?
So that's why I would be kind of surprised if the InJet, I really kind of hope it doesn't have canards, to be honest. So I'd be a little surprised if it actually does have canards. So, and then it leads forward into kind of like a copperhead cockpit, triangle diamond shape up in the front. Makes me think it's a single seat jet, single seat cockpit, just based on the fact that the interoperability of this thing is going to be so good. It's basically going to fly itself in a lot of ways with AI and other things, that having two aviation.
It could be a drone. US is working on a lot of drones. Anduril and everybody's probably at Area 51 testing and things. It could be one of those things. Imagine if it's a kite. Some guy's flying big kite. People are, oh, look at that F-47.
Up in the jet just doesn't make a ton of sense.
I know that's
This
stupid.
was the image that was originally released by the Department of War, kind of showing the canards up in the front
Yeah.
as well. And look at that. There's a little light right there. There's a little light there. So we'll get to that here in a second when we talk about what the Project Fear team saw when they were on the ground in Area 51. But very interesting, kind of seeing the smooth lines here. Not a lot of connecting points here on the canards, which is good, because if you're going to have canards, to me, it's going to make it a little less stealthy. Maybe technology has figured that out, though. Maybe the canards not being stealthy is kind of a thing of the past. So
maybe Boeing figured it out, right?
Interesting to see in their footage what we could have been seeing here all along. Very interesting. And then I thought this was kind of cool.
Maybe they went insane with the paint technology, like stealth paint. Maybe they created stealth planes, such stealth paint. Why am I slurring words? Maybe they created stealth paint at such a precision level that its shape doesn't matter much. Paint will absorb it. Who knows, right? It's just like still like 2 years away, right? Like 2 or 3 years away before like actually, oh, here's the plane.
Someone made this here, the thermal image, sparking the F-47 speculation. So this kind of has canards that are a little further back, and they're a little tighter in with the wing line, but that does look like a sweet jet, I'm not going to lie. A few more ridges on the back than what I would think. Obviously, this is a rendering of what the aircraft could look like. This one down here.
This is not even rendering. This is literally they ask AI to guess the shape. I'm pretty sure if I go to Gemini right now, it would render that.
A little closer to what we saw on the image. So a little bit closer, but at the end of the day, the canards are slightly different. But what I would say is the canopy bow here, probably not a good idea for stealth. And again, looks like a single seat cockpit. So I would buy that. Okay, I'll pop back for a little briefing and then we'll go into the actual video itself and I'll break it down frame by frame. That should be fun.
So remember, the F-47, that's the jet that is supposed to take the place of the Raptor, replace the F-22, which is not small shoes to fill. It's called the NGAD, the Next Generation.
This is like wing. I love it.
Air dominance fighter. And if you followed my channel, you know I think we should call it the Mega Chad. I mean, at this point, this is the Giga Chad of fighter jets. Nothing else will be able to compete with this, with the different systems that are being loaded onto it for it to interact with drones. This jet at some point will be able to actually control dozens or more little wingmen to go out and
call it Terra Chad. Why not? Tetra Chad. Why not? There you go.
and do its bidding. This is next generation fighter technology, and I'm just excited that at this point now there's testing going on, because there's been confirmed reports that the demonstrator, so NGAD demonstrator.
I love how the exhaust have like not a complete like square, but it's like it's shorter on the top than the bottom, so it has this weird open mouth type of look to it. The exhaust. This is so good.
What that means is there's probably multiple jets that are vying to be the one that gets chosen. Because remember, the F-22, there was the YF-23. That's a super cool looking jet. I mean, amazing. In my opinion, that we should have built that one.
What are you talking about? Boeing has the contract, right? It's not like they're not competing. Like Boeing has the contract
as well, but that one never made the cut to get fully produced, but it was out there flying prior to the F-22 being chosen. So what we could be seeing in this video is a version of that. Now let's pop to the actual video itself, and I'll break it down from my fighter pilot perspective. I'm just getting tingles all over. Anybody else?
Okay, everybody, here we are on X. This is OSINT Defender, and he's showing the Project Fear video from YouTube. So let's check it out. I'll pause it as we go through, and I'll react to it. So here we go.
This brings me back to my childhood when I used to watch like Destination Truth, Fact or Faked, and those like History Channel type videos where people go out hunt for like aliens, monsters, Yeti and all that. There was shows like that. Even at the time I knew like probably nothing, but it was fun to watch. This makes me feel like that. Look at that.
It's late at night or early morning hours, and these guys are going to capture something pretty spicy over Area 51 near Groom Lake, Nevada.
What is that? What is that? What is it? Do you see it, Connor?
Triangle. It's a triangle.
It's a triangle?
So triangle shape, that's not weird. There's a lot of advanced drones that have a triangle shape. We know
Fury.
the SR-71 had a triangle shape, F-117 triangle shape. So I'm not really surprised by that so far.
Yeah, Fury has the triangle, right? X-Bat drone also has the, wait a minute. I mean, X-Bat also kind of has that like triangle-esque shape, but this was not what it was. Fury doesn't have really triangle shape. Like, there you go. But you can kind of see it, maybe, in a thermal imaging. I don't know, right? Yeah. So there are many drones that has that feel. It feels like X-Bat might be the thing, right? It could be that, but I don't know. Or what is that, like B-21's reconnaissance with RQ something? It could also be that. But I don't know, it doesn't have canards, though.
Holy shit.
What is happening?
It's going to go right over us, you guys. It's a huge ball of light.
What is...
Huge ball of light. So what that says to me, a huge ball of light could be a big landing light on the front of this thing. So that's one option. But also you could...
Oh, yeah, this is how they look actually. And this is in the infrared. Why is it a big ball of light though? Look at the distance. If it is the landing light, it wouldn't be that bright.
Could be disguising it, and thinking that the only way to pick this thing up would be with a thermal cam, which would be less likely, but it's kind of cool. It's like this little
They put a ton of light on it. Like Max said, to if anybody captures it, they don't see anything. And not everybody walks around with a thermal camera.
stealth like shield of light surrounding this thing on the right side, which is likely what you're going to see it as the human eye and a normal camera. And then I believe on the left here, you've got that thermal camera. So you're not going to catch all that light coming off of this jet. So very interesting, but it almost looks like a big landing light to me. You can see that on airliners as they're coming in to land. And this aircraft's going really slow. So that's something I'm thinking about too. If you're out testing a next generation air dominance fighter, it's going to be going really fast. And it might be quiet too, because the next generation air dominance engines can have the ability to be very quiet. So we'll see if they hear anything if they mention that.
Yeah, but maybe this is very early days of testing. You don't want to just pull full throttle. You want to like fly around, see if any problem comes up. Like stealthy also means like flying really slow. Maybe they're looking at how slow can it fly. That in itself is a challenge. It's a twin engine plane. Let's see how slow it can fly and still is stable and maintains things.
What the fuck? What am I looking at? Is that like a helicopter?
No, it's a jet.
Yeah, definitely not the shape of a helicopter. No types of acoustic signals or patterns or audio that we're hearing right now. So definitely looks like a jet, and you can start to see the canards kind of starting to come out. Those are those little kind of like mustache things in the front of the jet.
It's a huge jet. What are you seeing?
Sometimes it's hard to tell how big a jet is, unless you have comparison. But this does look like it's relatively low.
What is that?
This is crazy. I don't know what I'm looking at.
What?
And then right there on the right side, I can see kind of a beam kind of coming off of the front, which is kind of odd. The fact that there's a ball of light and then a beam coming out of the front, that is odd. Because the landing light...
Why is it completely that's not really surprising physics-wise. If it is a strong light, you won't be able to see anything but the light. That's how camera sensors work. Maybe by eye, you don't have that strong of an eye. But if you could see it with an eye, you wouldn't look like that. The light wouldn't be this overwhelming. But just the way camera and exposure works, yeah, it makes sense. It would be just one big ball of light. I think they deliberately did that with they put a lot of lights on the plane, so if somebody captures it, it doesn't look anything.
It should kind of just be shining forward if in fact it was a landing light. But here's the thing, if it's a stealth secret program, just take the landing light off. They're not going to have a landing light up there because it's going to stand out like a in sweatpants. Everybody across the entire desert, every music festival within 500 miles is going to be able to see this thing. So I don't believe it's a landing light, but it has a little bit of a look of that. So very odd.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No way.
It has a literal beam, man. It's beaming towards something with the light. Light is beaming somewhere. That makes me think this might be a drone and not an F-47. This distance might be deceiving. We think it's a big plane, but it might not be. It's a small jet. It's a small drone with a light on it. Because drones have multiple purposes. They might be testing a drone with a light on it. Who knows?
Can make out the canards really well now, and kind of the winglets on the end kind of look like they're almost down a little bit, like they kind of droop down on the sides, which is different than what we've seen on a lot of aircraft.
It has a huge headlight.
Yep, so he's mentioning the headlight, kind of like what we just talked about.
Yo, what is happening?
I mean, you must be able to hear the engine. Like, you can't really suppress the sound. So even if it's going slowly, you would be able to hear the jet engine, wouldn't you? I don't know. It's gone past, so you should be able to hear it now.
Oh,
Yo, what the What is it?
it is.
Seriously.
It is.
That's got to be a wild experience. I mean, I'm happy they actually saw something. If in fact the footage is real, which at this point we don't have anything telling us that it's not.
No. I watched Sandbox video, and in which he talked about how he has sources and people which basically confirm the credibility of the actual source, Project Fear. So they're not making shit up. Sandbox confirmed it. So it is real.
But yeah, that's got to be a good feeling that you actually are validated. You went out there, you saw something cool. Congratulations. But I think at this point, if this jet wants to be seen, it'll be seen. If it doesn't want to be seen, it won't want to be seen. So Remember, there's always somebody behind the scenes playing a little bit of 4D chess.
Kind of looks like an SR-70.
Yeah, sort of like an SR-71 perhaps, but to me,
No, it's SR-71 looks like a middle finger basically, with big fist and a finger. So even at the distance, it would look like that massive middle finger, not something that's like kind of like bottom heavy and like a canard.
it looks more like a YF-23 than an SR-71. SR-71 is massive, and the SR-71's gonna be, I don't even know if it can fly that slow. It's so fast, and it has
Yeah.
massive engines underneath the wing, so that would differentiate it from what you're seeing right here.
No contrail. No
Yeah, he says no contrail, but that's normal because there's a conning layer that's somewhere usually around 30,000 feet. So jets that are flying lower like this aren't going to have a contrail. Not all jets have a contrail. It's an atmospheric phenomenon
Yeah, you need to be really very high in the atmosphere in order to get that.
that happens at a certain altitude.
Yeah.
So when I was flying fighter jets, we would know what that altitude was. Usually it was a band between 25 to 30,000 feet, and you would just avoid that because it's going to highlight you. So if you're below that little band or above that little band, you won't have a contrail. But most airliners fly, somewhere around 30,000 feet, so they're going to be in that band a lot.
I think the band is pretty wider as far as I remember. And in order to fly higher than that, like can the jets fly that high? I mean, U-2 and all those can fly that high, but you're basically at like very thin atmosphere at that point. Yeah, so there's a reason why rockets and things have that kind of like a feel to it, because they're flying in that area before like ejecting out. Yeah.
Of the time, which is why we see the contrails a lot.
contrail.
No contrail.
Yeah, but it's lower. Yeah, makes sense. But wouldn't you be able to hear it though?
Where the mountain is.
I'm looking at that one still. I don't see anything with my naked eye.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it just looks like a big orb, big ball of light. That's really
Exactly. Look at how far away it is, and you can still see the light. How bright is that?
cool they had the thermal camera.
But now let's talk about the 4D chess section here. So board 1, if this was leaked on purpose, I mean, it's Area 51, the US government knows who's out there
Come
and
on,
who's
man.
roaming around. It's
Wow.
not very hard to know that. So the China signal with the J-30
Too much effort, man. Why would you fly something just to deceive someone, just to make sure, like, oh, see the guy? This is not WWE that they're like leaking things in purpose. US military wouldn't go that far. And what is, like, let's say even if they do that, what are they going to achieve? I don't know, man. That feels too much to me.
36 and the J-50 already flying, a timely glimpse of America's
Where the hell this image come from? Look at that. This is new G36, right? Like the big one. With the 3-engine one, right?
flying 6th generation jet. That might be the cheapest deterrence that money can buy. It tells Beijing you're further along than you've admitted without handing over a single usable
First of all, I'm pretty sure China is one generation behind in naming. So what America calls 5th generation, China calls it 4th generation. So they wouldn't call the 6th generation in the first place. How much of a 6th generation that is with the 3-engine, I don't know.
detail because again the footage is still kind of grainy. And then board 2 would be the budget war. F-47 is fighting for dollars against the Navy's F/A-XX. Congress has already moved some money into the NJAD program. Nothing protects a program's funding.
This is what I mean, man. There is obviously there's no vertical wings, right? This already compromises your ability to like maneuver faster. On top of that, if you're bottom heavy like that, like it looks like, I don't know. Look at how F-22 looks, right? And then another wing is like this shape is important if you want to maneuver faster in like in the atmosphere at high speeds. I think that's why canards are there. Maybe canards will help with that. That's why it's there, right? Because if it wasn't there and it didn't have the vertical wings like that, yeah, it wouldn't be able to move around. It would be basically like a bomber, like a B-2. So that's why canards are necessary.
like the public believing the jet is real, flying, and ahead of schedule. And a viral clip does that completely for free. And then board 3, the shape game, the Air Force has openly said its F-47 images are placeholders meant to mislead. This is the same Pentagon that displayed doctored photos of the F-117 in 1988 to scramble Soviet analysts. So a slightly wrong leak or a demonstrator that's not actually going to be produced, that's counterintelligence with a hashtag. Because basically if the Pentagon wanted China to see the F-47, they'd never leak a blueprint, they'd leak a blurred thermal image, and the blur is the message at this point.
Dude, but if that's the case, they would not launch anything. Why would they put out videos on YouTube from their official channel? Like, we're making F-47. Here's a fake video. Like, you don't need to do that. This is not like a commercial company which, like, people are going to buy. You don't have to advertise. If they're doing that, I don't know. To me, it feels like weird. I think it's going to look like that. Canards might be part of it because, like I said, it might help with the maneuverability. And canards might be like, like shiftable things. So aerodynamically, it can change shape. Not change shape. Up and down and shift like that. So you can have better traction and all. I don't know. Better maneuverability. That makes sense. It's aerodynamics in the end.
So bottom line here, the F-47 program is absolutely real. The footage here, questionable. We don't know if it's real, but it's plausible. And the gap between those two facts is doing exactly what somebody wants it to do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope
Now it's real. Like I said, Sandbox is like very respectable guy, right? The Sandbox guy has connection and he confirmed it like this is real. Like people are trusted. So it is real. I don't know about like deception campaign. The US military wouldn't go like what's the point of that? Let's say they would do that. What's that going to achieve? Even if they show the real plane, people will just call that like alien spaceship. That's what they did with the B-2 in the 80s and whatever. Oh, that's an alien ship. No, it was B-2. So they don't have to do that. That's what I'm saying. Even with this, like, what is it? Is it an alien plane? Is it an F-47? What is it? Like, people are already doing that. The US don't need to do any of that. I don't know. To me, it feels like it must be F-47. And if it's not, it must be some small drone that we think is a big plane because that's distance is not that easy to figure out, right? And judging from how big of a light it is, it could be a drone. Because how can a plane that flies that high has that strong of a light? How strong light is that? If it's that strong a light, if it's on the ground, it would blind people. That's how strong that light was. I don't know. All right. If you like my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.